Hey you guys, it's me Laura with scrapsoфencouragement.com, and today I am here with you for a sketch challenge. This sketch is pretty simple, really basic, and a lot of fun to do. It's really versatile and you can really use it for just about anything. You can totally change the direction of this sketch or change it up in a lot of different ways. It's really fun and really easy. And I'm going to show you how to make one card today, and then I'm going to show you different variations I did on this sketch. And the neat thing about sketches is that they're a really good way to get your imagination going. This sketch actually triggered the next several videos that you're going to be seeing from me. And it's just a really great way to kind of wake you up and get you started. So for today's card, I am using a Blackberry Bliss card base, and I have cut a piece of patterned paper at 4 by 5¼ inches. I have a circle with a scalloped border around it. You can do 2 plain circles, you could do a stitched circle, you really have a lot of options. You don't even have to use a circle, you could use a square, you could use an oval, you can use whatever you jolly well please. And then I have a strip of paper. It doesn't matter at this point exactly how it's cut. Mine is cut, I think it's a 1/2 inch by 4¼ inch, so it goes all the way across my card front. I'll be cutting that down later, but you'll see that then. So to get started, I am going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I am just stamping it on my center circle. Then I'm going to go ahead and start gluing everything together. I'm going to glue my patterned paper panel onto my card base. I'm going to glue the sentiment that I just stamped onto the scalloped border. And then I'm going to work with the little strip that I have there. So I'm going to start by cutting this down to the same size of my patterned paper panel, and I'm going to cut it just a little bit smaller because I don't want it to go all the way to the edge. And then to flag those ends, I'm just going to snip into the center with my scissors, and then I'm going to cut from the corner to that center snip. And then I'm just going to glue that right on my card as well. And for that center sentiment, which for this you can use a sentiment, you can use an image, you can really use whatever you want to fill that circle. I'm going to go ahead and pop that up with some dimensionals. If you don't have dimensionals, you can cut a few extra circles and glue those down behind. And then I'm going to put that on my card. Now this could be done, but I thought this needed a little something extra. One thing that I love to keep on hand is white embellishments, because you can use alcohol markers like the Stampin' Blends to color them whatever color you need. So I'm using my dark Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to color a few of these pearls to stick on my card to kind of bring everything all together. So once I have those colored and I've given them just a short amount of time to dry, I'm going to go ahead and place those on my card. I'm using my Take a Pic tool because it makes it a little bit easier. I like to have that and then something else. I'm using just the lid of my tool here to get them onto the card. And I'm kind of placing them in a triangle shape, and I'm going to put them how I feel they look good. And then I'm going to work on the inside of the card. So for this, I'm using a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I have that cut the same size as my front pattern paper panel, so it's cut at 4 inches by 5¼ inch. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And then I have an extra strip of the Designer Series paper on the front of the card, and I'm putting that along with a strip of Blackberry Bliss down on the bottom, just to give my card more of a finished feel. And that strip, I didn't actually measure it, I just got a small strip scrap that I had, and you can actually glue them together first and then cut off the end that way if you need to, so you don't have to pre-measure it ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down as well. And that's the card. All that's left to do is my envelope. And so for this, I'm doing really simple. I'm taking a textured stamp from my Woven Heirloom set. It actually comes in the same set as my sentiment in this case. I'm going to use my Stamparatus to stamp this because it is a larger stamp and I do not have a block that is big enough. It's a super easy envelope, but it adds a nice finishing touch. So that is really it. This card comes together so easily, and I just used this sketch for inspiration. And I thought I'd also show you a few other designs that I did based on the same sketch. So this one has a completely different look to it, different colors. I used the same stamp, I used different paper, and instead of using a paper banner in the back, I used some twine that I wrapped around. This one I flipped over on its side, and so I made it go the other direction, but the same idea, and I also added a little butterfly embellishment to that. Inside I added a few more layers to give it a little border in there. And then this last card again is on the side. I added a couple more butterflies, but still a very, very similar idea. And I decorated all the envelopes for these, but as you can see, all of these cards use the same sketch as the main idea point, but they all look a little different. So it's a really fun way. Sketches are such a fun way to stretch your imagination and kind of get your creative juices flowing. And I hope that that was helpful for you. I'd love to see what you come up with using this sketch. So please feel free to email your creations to me or tag me on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, or be sure to leave a link to your project in the comment of my blog. And I would be so happy to see what you're doing with this. As always, I hope you find joy in creating as you spread kindness and encouragement with your scraps of paper, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.